Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and in my usual style, I am filming the first bit last. I always go inside, explore first, and then film that outside intro last, because it gives you more time inside then, but it wasn't a massive museum, but very, very interesting. I've already seen it, and you're going to go and see this now, so hope you all find this interesting, guys and girls. Let's go in, shall we? Afternoon, ladies and gents, and we are finally in the St Bartholomew Hospital Museum. Here's charters and overcase plaster bust of Rahia. Priory here from who founded the hospital and Priory Church of St Bartholomew the Great and the hospital. We've been to St Bartholomew the Great Church and seen Priory here before. Grant of land from Sowell, Tinctor Dyer and Mabel, Alice and Maud, the three daughters of Warren. Just pause and read for the descriptions as always. Here we have a nun from the time of when the hospital would have been set up. These good ladies would have tended the sick. Medieval hospital. Tomb of Rahia, we've seen that, or him rather. Hospital comes from the Latin term of hospitalis, and it was every religious person, whether they were of the order or just a normal person like you or me, it was every person's duty to offer someone hospitality if you were able to. It was your Christian duty to do that. That's a little lesson from me. Medieval period is one of my favourite periods. I know a smidge about it.
You don't have anything amputated now.
Yeah.
Is this them?
Yeah. And then you could have done lots of reading if you wanted.
There's our nun again. The refounding of the hospital, that was in Henry VIII's time. When the dissolution came, he closed the priory of St Bartholomew, but the hospital was refounded. Just pause and read. It's probably going to be a bit of a long one, this, guys and girls. Women's Royal Voluntary Service, St Bartholomew's Hospital. John Jones Cup, oldest surviving piece of church plate. The inscription reads, "The gift of John Jones, citizen and merchant tailor of London, 1639. Who's number one? Right, that's number 6. That's number 1 there. Oh, there it is, yeah. Not got a number on it, that one there. Paul's Mead. St Bartholomew the Less, that's the church that's attached to the hospital. I've done that one as well. If you look back through my Facebook, YouTube, you'll see that. There's even little snippets of it on Instagram and TikTok. The hospital chest. Obviously, I can't stop for ages and and read all the descriptions, so just pause and read. Order the hospital and Bartholomew. Agreement between King Henry VIII and the City of London, 27th of December 1546. Henry's signature can be seen in the top left corner. There he is. Henricus Rex. King Henry. Yeah, he wasn't nice to the Catholic Church, was Henry. William Harvey up there. Didn't notice that. So this is this thing with places like this, you always find different things to see. The apothecary. I'll do a piece on apothecaries soon. They were basically the pharmacist of their day. And the medication depended on wealth and stuff. And if you was poor, you'd get herbs and whatnot. If you were wealthy, you'd have ground gold and pearls and stuff in your medication, which I'm sure did your digestive system a great deal of good. It's the apothecary there. Deadly nightshade. Something I know about this kind of thing is that in Victorian times, people used to give their babies opium and cannabis and laudanum for teething pain and whatnot. I mean, some were killed, obviously, like that with overdoses, but the ones that survived must have ended up kind of drug addicts. And a large population of the poor in those days was addicted to opium and cannabis, because I saw this on a program before. Cannabis was a penny an ounce, so it was cheap, and you could buy it in any chemist. That's a pill rolling machine. That's a pill rolling board. That's the spatula for it, all the measurement stuff. If you find this interesting, type in or buy yourself a DVD or phone it, whatnot. Victorian pharmacy. Very, very interesting. This is my first visit to the museum here, so I'm enjoying it. Sorry, that's all right. I'm going to have a look at that one in a minute. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, wow. The physician. The physician was a very trusted man in his day. the most educated man other than the priest in your local area probably. A lot of people that couldn't read and write would take their letters to the physician and have them read. If he was a decent bloke or whatnot, he'd read them out for them. And some physicians gave their time free to the poor, or done penny days or halfpenny days and things like that. This is the Victorian era I'm talking about. I don't know about years ago. What on earth are they? 18th century lunatic restraints. In 1787, more rooms were partitioned off from the wards to accommodate patients who may happen to be bit by mad dogs. Oh God. This is what interested me when I went, ooh, 10. I like heads and skulls. I've got a collection of crystal and stone skulls at home. You can call me a freak if you want, I don't mind. Early 19th century wooden head for practicing trephining. Drilling holes in the skull. Oh yeah, a head, scuffed and battered appearance suggests that it has been used as a football. Oh, okay. Yeah, trepanning, look, you can see the circle mark. It's like a drill bit that cuts into, obviously, nastily, the skull. That's someone that had a head injury, pretty much the same as today, relieve pressure. And there's evidence that one was even done in ancient Egypt. In the Valley of the Kings, when they found the workers' cemetery, it dispelled a couple of myths that the pyramids were very likely not built by slaves, but by workers that were very well looked after and well fed, and had access to medical treatment, because some of the burials they found... Sorry, I'll start at the beginning. Some of the burials they found showed signs of pretty advanced medical treatment, and that's ancient Egypt. For many, many years, people thought that the pyramids were built by the slaves, but it doesn't appear that they were. That type of work needs well-fed artisans, craftsmen who know what they're doing. Well looked after enough and whatnot to be able to do that job. John Woodall was surgeon to the hospital in 1616 to 43. Cartwheel rough, they liked their roughs in those days. It was a sign that you had wealth, because a poor person, one, couldn't have afforded it, and two, couldn't have kept it clean. So, illustration of trephining instruments. Trephining or trepining, whatever it's. Well, I must say this has proven to be very interesting. William Harvey, 1578 to 1657, physician to the hospital, 1609 to 43. A pretty good age for those days. Running the hospital. Oh, I like this. Look, the tiles which lined the bathrooms in the south wing. This building, completed in 1739, was demolished in 1935 to make way for the King George V building. Painted staves presented to newly appointed governors on their election. More tiles there. Delft tiles they are. All the rage when this blue and white pottery stuff came out, people went absolutely mad over it. Mad for it. They went potty. And that was the rage for a good many years. And the pink and white came out and they went mad over that one. Just pause and read, pause and read. So carried by porter or a beadle on ceremonial occasions. 1867 old beadles, we've spoke about them before. I done a piece on those recently anyway, didn't I? And the evolution of the Metropolitan Police. Beadles were part of that. If you want to know what a beadle is, anyone that's watched Oliver Twist, Mr. Bumble, the beadle, they were real people that had real positions, and they generally sometimes weren't very nice. A malt shovel probably used in the hospital's brewhouse, which began making beer in 1739. Patients drank small or weak beer as part of their diet. In those days it was practically a death sentence to drink water. I'm going to be quiet now because there's some chanting going on.
Wow. This is interesting. I love it. That's great.
It's lovely to see people getting so into the history. It really is. I shall have to find out where one pops a donation, because whenever I go to a place like this, I normally bung a £5 or a tenner in. Tenner if I'm flush, a £5 if I'm not. And I'm not flush at the moment, because all the restoration stuff I had done at the cemetery spent rather a lot of money, I must admit, but something I wanted doing. My nan would have liked it, and it's keeping a promise kind of thing. So I can't say I've not looked after them. Earliest mention of the young doctors or students of the governor's order of the 29th of April 1662, top left, requires the physician shall personally prescribe, and that no young gentleman may officiate for them. That's so a young doctor couldn't give someone the wrong medication and kill them. A law or medical rule we, thank goodness, still very much endure today. You're going to enjoy this bit in a minute. Oh, I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad it came out today. I must admit I've been feeling a bit shitty lately. Yeah, I mean, please don't anyone take the piss, because I will get very angry because I know some people don't view pets the same, but I lost my rabbit recently and I was gutted, I must admit. Especially as he was an indoor rabbit. I mean, you get close to them, don't you? I shan't be getting any more. Several reasons for that. One, it is too upsetting when you lose them. Sorry. Too upsetting when you lose them. And two, traditionally described as a wounded soldier, this painted wooden figure dates from the mid-17th century and was possibly used as a sign outside a ward or the entrance to the hospital. There is a companion figure without legs, which may have been fixed high up on the building. No record has been found of how the hospital acquired these statues. They were first referred to in the hospital archive in 1657, when an order was issued to paint them in oil. I wonder if Grinley and Gibbons had anything to do with that, because that is so good. It could be Grinley and Gibbons. But the artisans in those days, well, speaks for itself, doesn't it? Oh shit. I turned round and I thought someone was standing there next to me. That really frightened me. Percival Pott, 1715, 1788, surgeon to the hospital. Description. Oh, we almost missed this picture. This is presented by the governor. Presented by the governors, by his pupils and friends. Oh, it doesn't say who it is. I can't see up the top there, but that'll be an eminent doctor. Some such. A Bart's woman. Become a doctor whilst living in America. It's the first female medical practitioner listed on the medical register of the General Medical Council. To the left, you can be seen the visitor's book she signed on the 23rd of June 1951. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Good for her. Let's zoom in on her picture so we can see this lady. Good for you, girl. I like pioneers, male and female. You know, when you get an ordinary person that sets their mind on a dream and they accomplish it, it's nice to see, isn't it? Architects, model of St Bartholomew's Hospital site development, 2005. There's a lot of building and redevelopment gone on. Right, and before we go back round there, because we're going to be finishing, I'll show you in this room in a sec. The voluntary hospital of St Bartholomew. Each of the cabinets has got a different thing. This is what I wanted to show you in here, because this is absolutely wow. Magnificent. This was one of the main reasons I came. It's known as the painted staircase, or painted gallery in some descriptions. That is fantastic. Wow. Such pretties. Oh, that's not my back creaking like that, it's the floor. But my back does feel like it could creak like that. We're in the North Wing, St Bartholomew's Hospital. I left my hat at the front, so hopefully it's still there when I get back. Paintings on these walls are fragile and easily damaged. For this reason, please ensure that no large items are carried up the stairs. Well, yeah. Absolutely stunning. Now that is what you call art and architecture. Catching the, oh, it's crystal, look. Oh, that's nice. I was catching that with my bag. Sorry. Thank you. Well, that's stunning, wasn't it? So frightening, Dr. Friend. You always frightened me anyway. You made me jump. Indenture of Apprenticeship of William Lawrence. That's the indenture for the apprenticeship. So many men went into apprenticeships in those days, in all different aspects of life. My nan's granddad was apprenticed to a fisherman, but for some reason he didn't take up that trade. He became a dock labourer. Don't know what happened there. Sorry. Sometimes I hate this bag, it literally just catches on everything. There we are. Oh, that's a noble fight between. I can lift the receiver and do that, but as I'm filming, I shan't bother. This is uniform. These things, these feeding homes for children, they killed more babies than anything in those days because they didn't wash them. Same as when they built out the first bottles with rubber teats on the top, they just didn't wash them, so well, you can imagine what happened, can't you? First X-rays, that's interesting. Ouch. It doesn't say that is in the picture there, but it looks like Dr. Frederick Treves, but he was the London hospital, so Scarlet fever, that looked like. I had an ancestor that died of that. He was only 42. He was a coachman. That's why his family had to move from South Mims to London. Get work on that. Oh gosh. Case of obturator hernia, a rare pelvic rupture. No, I'll tell me. Medical advances.
Oh, okay.
You are in that cold. If you are, you
Sure.
I mean, you could put the heater on if you want.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, it's strange weather because unless you're in the sun, it's quite cold. I don't want it to get too cold. So if you want to put it on, it goes on at the wall and it is, it's just literally turn that little.
Right, ladies and gents, and we are back at the beginning where we started. Sorry. So I hope you all found that interesting. That's our nurse from the beginning. Take care all. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like and a share. Thank you.